It is no secret that Battlefield 6 has been received extremely well by both Battlefield players and Call of Duty players and just the internet in general. Ever since that first reveal trailer came out and we saw that we're going back to a modern setting, it looked like military realism and it just looked like a good gritty Battlefield game. The hype has just been over the roof since then. But why is a franchise that was deeply hurt by Battlefield 2042 suddenly dominating the conversation again? And then another question we have to ask is, how is Call of Duty going to respond to this hype revolving around Battlefield 6? There has always been competition between Battlefield and Call of Duty, but will this finally be the year that Call of Duty is going to be forced to evolve? Now, like I've already mentioned, let's take a look back in time and talk about Battlefield 2042. That game launched a mess. It launched with no leaderboard, ton of missing features, broken servers, they had specialist system instead of classes. It launched, it felt like worse than a beta state when it launched. It barely worked. It felt like a tech demo. But here we are a few years later, and the new edition they're revealing, Battlefield 6, is pulling in an insane amount of hype. And I think there's really just one reason for why this is happening, and I think it's because their development team has really earned the player base trust. The dev team has clearly took what happened with Battlefield 2042 and done a complete turnaround in terms of how they revealed this game. If you remember back with 2042, the entire reveal was basically a cinematic that had nothing to do with actual gameplay, because if they had shown us gameplay, it would have been what we saw in the beta, a vacant wasteland that barely worked. But this time we got a reveal with actual gameplay, the return to gritty military realism, something that Battlefield has been really good at, especially Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. And the game just looks like it's being built for the community instead of a corporation earning money. And that reveal, it wasn't even just a trailer, it was just a full-on statement saying we're back. The visuals, the pacing, and the tone, it was all just perfection. And what's crazier is that the Battlefield community, they're not the only ones that are celebrating this reveal. There are a ton of Call of Duty creators just going absolutely crazy over this game. If we look at this poll from Modern Warzone, for example, who has a following of primarily biased Call of Duty players, you can see that over like 80% were beyond satisfied with this Battlefield reveal trailer. And then we can also look at this poll from Merc Music, who's been in the COD scene forever. And he asked his following if people are going to be playing the Black Ops 6 Season 5 or the Battlefield 6 Open Beta on August 7th when they both release. And over 90%, 93% of people said they're playing the Battlefield 6 beta over Season 5 of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Warzone. And I don't even think we saw this level of hype for Battlefield 1 back when Battlefield 1 was competing against Infinite Warfare. This is a whole level above that, in my opinion. But then we look at the other hand, we look at Call of Duty's latest reveal for Black Ops 7. Maybe I'm going to be optimistic. Maybe it's because they haven't put out the full reveal trailer yet. Maybe it's because they haven't put out their multiplayer information, zombies information. Maybe it's only because we have a teaser trailer for Black Ops 7, but I feel like I'm seeing nobody talk about Black Ops 7 ever since the reveal. Like, yeah, that first week, people were talking about it and stuff, but since then, there's just, I see almost no hype around Black Ops 7, and that's coming from someone who's been playing Call of Duty for nearly 16 years. There's just no buzz around Black Ops 7. There's no one talking about how they need to play it soon. And I'm not dissing Black Ops 7 because of this. I play Call of Duty every year. I mean, I have fun in Call of Duty, even though they make poor decisions most of the time that are kind of against what their player base wants, but it's still overall a fun game each year. But I don't know, it's like their marketing strategy so far, it's just been too safe. They've gotten too comfortable with having no competition for the past decade or so. So they're just doing the thing they've normally been doing. They're putting out their little teaser trailer. They're like, oh, we'll do everything else at COD Next. Oh, the beta, that drops the day after COD Next. It's just they take too long. There's not enough hype. They're just not, I feel like their marketing's just too safe and not super effective compared to what Battlefield has been doing this year. And I know people will always say you don't have to compare Call of Duty and Battlefield, two different games, two different play styles. And I agree. I 100% agree with that. But the truth is, they are both competing for the same player base. They're both competing for people who enjoy first-person shooters, who enjoy having great gunplay, great movement, and just being immersed into the game they're playing. And Battlefield has done a great job. They wanted everyone in the world to see their reveal, so they were getting streamers from so many different games, mostly Call of Duty and Battlefield. They just wanted to open their horizon to as many eyes as possible with this reveal, and it looks like it's paying off because I would say just an estimate of over 75% of the Call of Duty community is beyond excited for Battlefield 6 right now. And this is all just such a great thing for both Battlefield and Call of Duty, because with Battlefield coming in swinging like this, Call of Duty is going to have to step it up. They have been playing it way too safe. Their games have been pretty repetitive over the past few years. It's like Call of Duty is putting out a game that was only made based on the decisions in a shareholder meeting. Hey, we need more money. Put more microtransactions. Who cares about the gameplay? They've been releasing games with mediocre maps, nothing immersing you into the game you're playing. And then they bombard you with microtransactions, $30 bundles, battle passes. It just doesn't feel like they care about the players. They just care about the money the player has. They don't care about your experience. They just want you to play the game. Oh, I see a cool skin. I'll put that cool skin and cool camo on. I'll pay $30 for it, but I don't care about how fun the gameplay is. I'll just go play. I'll just go play Shipment 24/7 and just look at my $30 bundles and skins. And Call of Duty always sells well, but the sales numbers, it just doesn't equal the passion we want to have with the game. And passion is really what keeps a community alive. I just want us to ask ourselves right now, let's compare the passion for Battlefield 6 that we're seeing to Black Ops 7, because it's really not even comparable. So Battlefield coming in swinging like this, knocking it out of the park with all the gameplay reveal looking amazing. They've already shown creators streaming the game. It looks so crispy. It looks so grounded. It looks like you're playing in the setting you're buying. You're not buying a 90s military game and then playing as a bunch of cartoon characters. And I think that's something that's actually pretty important that a lot of people want to see. Because when you start adding all this crazy, goofy stuff to a game, you just can't take the game seriously. And I really do think that affects the morale around the game in general. And Battlefield 6, the devs have already said they want to keep their setting. They want to keep players engaged in the modern military setting by, having appropriate skins, appropriate camos, and just nothing too wild out there. And I think that's something players are going to appreciate a lot with Battlefield 6. So now the ball is in Call of Duty's court. Are they going to look at the success of Battlefield 6 and then try to step up their game and start doing things that players are suggesting instead of completely brick walling the community? Or are they going to keep releasing a game with mediocre maps, mediocre gameplay, and then bombard us with more microtransactions and stuff to buy? Because I just really don't know how much longer that formula is going to keep Call of Duty surviving. I just don't see it happening. But now I want to hear from you guys. Are you still excited for Black Ops 7? I'm still cautiously optimistic about it, the same way I'm cautiously optimistic about Battlefield 6. Trust me, I played Battlefield for a while. I remember being excited about 2042 and then being let down with that, but they've shown us a lot better stuff with Battlefield 6 than they did back with 2042. And so far, we just don't know much about Black Ops 7. People don't seem that excited about it as of now. The reveal teaser looked pretty cool, but that's just for campaign. My pessimistic view would be that we're going to be getting the exact same formulas we got with Black Ops 6 with a bunch of mediocre maps with a futuristic setting on it. And then they're going to give us a bunch of crazier skins that don't really fit the tone of the game. And they're just not going to show all that much attention to putting passion into their maps and making it fun, when fun is really the thing that should matter most in keeping players engaged within a game. But I don't know. We could probably go on another conversation with that in another video. Yeah, let me know. Are you more excited for Black Ops 7, Battlefield 6? Do you think Black Ops 7 is going to be all right? Do you think Battlefield 6 is going to continue the hype and live up to it? I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated with this competition between Call of Duty and Battlefield, definitely hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be playing both games along with a bunch of other first-person shooter games I want to get into. But yeah, we will be playing the beta later this week. I hope to see you guys tag along this Battlefield 6 journey with me. Hope you guys all have a blessed day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.